We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
Camera
Oh yeah, just move it back.
makes it be an optical illusion to you and the listeners that just chimed in. Dave,
Hey,
we're back.
we are back. Season 5, episode 2.
Yes, and just FYI, well, quickly wrap up. That's why dogs circle before they lay down.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that told me that same thing.
Do you do that before you go to bed?
Um, no, not quite a circle. Yeah,
Half
you ever,
circle, semicircle. What are
no.
we
So
talking? Triangle?
I like, I like play tricks with myself. So when I used to travel all the time, for example, let's go back to that. When I early on in my career, I traveled 40 weeks a year. And I stayed in hotels all over Florida until I got an apartment. Then I started
Blah
settling
blah
down again.
blah.
Yeah. So what I would do is, first of all, when I woke up, I would close. I wouldn't close. I wouldn't open my eyes immediately, but I would lay in bed and I would try to figure out the configuration of the room without getting out of bed first. So I'd figure like, where's the door? What
Well, you
city am
lived
I
an
in?
exciting life, Dave.
Uh, but what I do, and
Just part of your 6 steps or 7 steps.
I'm on a 8-step program. What I like to do now is turn off the lights and make my way to bed without stubbing my toe or something, or my shin. We've got one of those rice beds, those you may, a rice.
Rice.
Yeah, you take all these little pieces of rice, you stack it up, and make cushions out of it. No, a rice bed.
No, no idea what you're talking about.
It's like an antique bed with the big
Oh,
columns.
oh, okay, okay. I
They call it a
gotcha.
rice bed. Some of them are wheat beds. I don't know. Anyway, so what was the point of this? But it's a tall bed, so the base of the bed where the cushion, the mattresses are at shin height.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I try to I like it pitch black, dark, and then I try to make my way to the bed without using my hands to feel where the columns are, without banging into my shin.
Is
Sometimes I'm successful.
Yeah, I was just say, how successful are you in
Sometimes
this?
I'll hit it, and then Sheila will be like, "Damn it, quit playing that stupid game."
I think you should up the game and take a full-on run at the bed and see if you can go without
I'm
hitting a
not ready
pole.
for that. I have a high tolerance for pain, but I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, that's why we just throw a mattress on the ground, my house.
We used to do that.
Yeah.
The fun thing is when I do it successfully. See, she goes to bed first, then I yell "victory" like that, and that pisses her off.
Oh, you're such a joy. Such a
Well,
joy
these are
thing.
the simple things that we do.
Speaking of season 5,
Okay.
I reached back out to management concerning the fact that they covered my travel expenses.
Uh-huh.
And I asked if they would cover yours.
And
Well, they happily replied with no.
oh, okay. I thought you were
So,
gonna say, would they cover Brad's?
yeah.
And they said, sure, he's a guest.
Yeah. He was on your show once, I think. So no, it was they said the deal had closed and we're on to see we're obligated to season 5 now, all 12 episodes. And
They
so are
said,
our listeners, by the way. Thank you for joining in last week. We had a good viewership. We got a few more subscriptions on the old YouTube channel, Dave.
yeah, we had a bounty of listeners on the Spotify as well, so we appreciate that. And we're not going to dwell on the Sigma Chi stuff too much tonight at all because we've overspent
I
our
think we
thing.
beat that horse to death.
Yeah, we kicked it a couple times, but we are graciously
Although, and it's
something.
not really related to the Sigma event, but someone remarked on your presence on stage and asked if you were an undertaker.
Who is that?
I'm
Shall
not telling
remain
you.
nameless.
Yeah, I think I can tell you who it is.
Did Dave grow up to be an undertaker?
said, "Doesn't Dave look like an Undertaker?" Now you
Bring
did
out
have
your dad.
a tuxedo on, which I don't call what you're wearing a tuxedo.
Well, this is a T-shirt.
I'm
You
not
mean that
talking
night?
tonight. By the way,
Well,
looking
so I
back at
didn't.
past videos, I think you've been wearing the same T-shirt for a number of weeks
Well,
now.
this is the other Geneva T-shirt. No, I
Oh,
have a
okay.
black one. This one says Geneva College, and the other one says Geneva Dad, because we spent so much damn money to go up there.
I know. And then they make you buy the shirts.
Yeah. No, so I didn't wear a bow tie. I wore a necktie, a normal necktie.
I know, but it looked like just a black suit.
Yeah, I'm not a big frivolity guy, you know.
Well, you were bragging about the fact you were wearing a tuxedo, but I didn't get that feeling.
I'm sorry I let you down, Woody.
Yeah, it was a big letdown, as a matter of fact, because
And
you had talked it
apparently,
up so much.
as an Undertaker, I've let down a few people.
Yes.
Get that?
Yeah.
Do I need to explain that,
Let
Joe?
down. Yeah. Okay. It just clicked. Yeah, it just clicked. Sorry, I wasn't quicker on the uptake on that. So,
All right, let's get moving. We got some stuff. I got a stock report. It's kind of fun story. I don't. You tell me what you want to do. I've
Well,
got an
go
epiphany.
ahead. Let's go ahead and get the stock thing out of the
Okay,
way.
so
And
some of you remember, maybe you don't. If you're tuning in for the first time, where the hell you been all this time? But I decided to play a little bit of a game and said I'm going to take my knowledge that I've done for a career and be a little bit aggressive or assertive, not my normal buy and hold strategy. And so I put 2 grand into. I opened a. What did I do? A
IRA.
Roth IRA. And so Roth IRA, if you're not familiar with it, without going too far in the weeds, it's after tax contributions. So I've already paid the taxes on the money and it goes in. And then after age 55, which I am, those contributions and withdrawals come out tax free. No capital gains, short term or long term. And I got this deal with Fidelity. They're charging me, I think, somewhere between 1 cent and 2 cents per transaction. So it's really low cost. And of course, I'm buying 200 shares to 500 shares. So anyway,
Wait a second. Is that 1 cent, 2 cent for the whole transaction
for the
or
whole
per
trade,
share?
yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
I did a. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make a sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what was the point of this?
Well, where you are, your
So
positions.
we put 2,000 in. They gave me a kicker of $100 if I keep the money in there for 90 days, which I've done. So that makes it 2,100. And then I decided, oh, I'm doing pretty good in this thing. I'm going to put some more money in it because I need a little extra cash to keep it investing. So I'm at $2,400. I think I'm going to go to 3,000 and quit. Okay. So I got to, I was going to go ahead and just put 2,500 in it. And I said, I like round numbers, 3,000. I don't know. So I think it'll end up being 3,000 and I'll quit putting money in. It's just going to be a slush fund that we're going to play with. So I've made a ton of trades. And today was kind of a fun story because I was in a gold mining company called Coeur Mining. They're out of Chicago now, but they were out of Idaho at one time. And I don't know if you watched the gold spot today, but apparently gold spiked based on information about inflation and maybe the Fed making a decision either to raise the rate or lower the rate. But gold spiked in the spot market and it drove all the gold mining companies up. And so I had about a 15% run today. And I have 500 shares of that stock I was holding on to. And I said, this thing's weighting my portfolio too heavy. I'm going to get out of it. So it went to 15% return. And then I grabbed it about 13.5% because it came down a little bit. I said, well, we reached it. So I sold today, made some money in the gold mining stock, and I'm holding on to a company called Bark. And Bark is a monthly subscription service for your dog.
I can't believe people are. It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me. I just can't believe this is a thing.
Well, the thing that scared me initially about it is it's cool, it's gimmicky, but they only
Yeah.
send out toys, chewies and
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know if I can, after 12
How
months,
many? How many Chewy toys do I need in the house?
I don't know if you're teaching your kid to tear, I mean, your kid,
Right.
your dog.
Maybe you're giving it to your kids like it's a Christmas present.
Go play with this. But but now they've introduced a snack line which makes sense because it's consumable. You know, you want
Yeah.
something consumable. I imagine the
Well, maybe
dog's
their
not.
toys are consumable
If they
things.
have a
Yeah.
lab, they're digesting them.
Right.
Our lab ate everything. So we're holding on to Bark, and we're in the money this week. And then I own 200 shares of Nerdy, and Nerdy is a self tutorial company. It was big during the pandemic because everybody was home from school. But
You said self-tutorial. I mean, it's videos you watch or
yeah,
you.
videos and
Oh, okay.
and they've moved their whole operation from one-offs to a subscription finally, and they've taken some time and investment to get people over. And so now what they've done, those subscription things are kind of interesting. You know, you sign up for $40 a month or whatever it is, and then you
Yeah,
kind of forget about it. So
exactly. They love that
yeah,
that model.
that model is working, and we're seeing some growth. And then
There's
the
an
last,
app that checks for that now, though. Rocket Wallet Rocket or Rocket Wallet or something like that. It looks
yeah,
at all. It looks at your statements and says, "Hey, by the way, you're paying X amount per month for this subscription. Is it something you still want to do?"
well, don't do that. Don't get that if you're in my nerdy thing. And
Or Bark,
the last stock we're
right?
holding on to, what's that?
Or Bark.
Yeah, exactly. Is Talkspace. Now they're probably on a subscription base too. And what Talkspace is a by phone. I think they do video conferencing like Zoom, but it's mental health counseling. And so what I'm thinking is this new generation who doesn't like to go out and see people. We're in this inflationary period. The economy's not so great. You know, as we move into this controversial political landscape we're getting ready to get into, I think people are going to be kind of whacked out. And so we had a drug company that made mental health drugs earlier, and I made about 25% on that sold. So I'm thinking mental health is going to be an issue. Let's capitalize on it. You know, people not feeling good, and then they can call into this talk space and talk to their mental health counselor over the phone. So, as I told people before, my buy and hold strategy is what I've always done in my career, and I've been very successful with that. But we're not quite timers, but $2,400. I'm at $3,410, so I'm up $1,010 since September. Not bad, 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Or 42% return.
Well, thank you for elucidating on your strategy of investing.
It's kind of like roulette. That's what I'm doing.
Okay,
The
good.
strategy I developed for roulette, and by no means we didn't give our disclaimer. Do I recommend that you play roulette? But and I've lost at roulette, but I can honestly say I've actually beat the house at roulette. And the way I did it was every time I won, no matter how big the pot, I got up and walked away. And so that took a lot of painful learning. And you had to have some money. I came to the table with about $600, but I'm not advocating gambling with roulette. I don't do that anymore, especially
Not since
since
you
I got
lost all
married.
that money.
Yeah, Skid Row. But this has been fun. There's a guy that I work with that collects baseball cards and football cards, and he's telling me about all of his fortunes. And I'm not looking to this is
I have a baseball card collection that I need to get
there's a cool
valued.
app. You sit
Is
there
there?
and you take pictures. I don't know what it's called, but I'll get it for you next time.
Yeah.
But you take your phone out, you take the picture of the card, and it categorizes it, grades it, and gives you how much it's worth right there. It's
Yes,
pretty
please
cool.
send that along. I have a couple thousand cards. I actually have like a Yogi Berra and a Mickey Mantle and things of that nature.
Do you have Vita Blue?
I assume so, yes.
Yeah, I think Vita Blue that year I think he played with the A's. He must have made about 1 million of those cards.
He was he used to be, I think it was Vita Blue, was a bar trivia question. Who was the last switch hitter to win the MVP? This was back in the 80s, you could say it. Now I'm sure there's so many switch hitters now. I'm sure one of them has, but the trick is that he was an American League pitcher at the time. And so no one would think of Vita Blue, but he was a right and left-handed hitter in the National League.
How do I ask Alexa this? She's going to go way back.
Well, I don't just like I said, I don't think it's true anymore. Who's the last switch hitter to win the MLB MVP?
MLB.
MLB.
Alexa, who is the last Major League Baseball player switch hitter to win the most valuable
MVP.
player.
From Inquirer.com.
Oh, there you go.
Since 1971, when Vita Blue was the last switch hitter to win the American League MVP award. Details here. 6 NL switch hitters have won it.
Ah, see, there you go. So
But that's cool, though. You nailed it, man.
right. Yeah.
She said Vita.
Yeah. I know. Idiot.
Wow. So Woody, some things you say are truthful.
Well, I try to be truthful to some degree. I always remember that was a like a trivia question my dad taught me as a kid because it was hard to figure out. So it must be still a popular poll people use. So
Wow. I feel well, we can cancel the show right now.
yeah,
That's it, folks.
I'm out. You're on your own for the rest of the night.
That's pretty big. That was pretty fun.
Well,
Anyway, go ahead.
speaking of sports, I haven't really updated on NASCAR. We've had since the 500, we've had two more races. The one in Atlanta produced the closest 3-car finish in racing history.
How do they call that? By a bumper?
Essentially in NASCAR, it's the frontmost part of the car to touch the start finish line. Is the winner, but there was only, if I remember, if I got the number right, 0.008 second difference between first and third.
Okay, hold on a second. So, this rule in the NFL where if it's a running play, running play, and they're in the red zone, and say it's 3rd and 1, whatever, and if the ball breaks the plane, the guy doesn't have to be in the end zone.
Right.
But even the tip of the nose of the ball, if it breaks the line, the paint line for the goal line,
extends up indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is it the front edge of the finish line, or is it
the picture they showed was the front edge of the finish line.
Okay. I hate that rule, by the way.
Yeah, I do too. It just something needs to change. And that wasn't what it used to be. It was like, I guess it always was, but I guess with slow-mo cameras and everything, it's become much more.
Well, the football, you had to have a portion of your body in it. It wasn't the ball, it was your body. You had to get your torso up. So you could land like it's your belly on the line as long as the ball was in the end zone. Well, you know what? It was the knees. I think the knees is what did it. So
and it was wherever the ball was when your knee hit, and that's still the same rule.
I don't know. I don't like the way, because it's not the same rule for passing.
Well, you see now when they run out of bounds, they put the ball forward.
Yeah, that's bull.
Yeah, I find it kind of dumb. It should be where your foot went out, not where the ball went out. So
I don't know. I don't want to get me torqued up.
Torqued up. But so anyhow, that was an exciting finish, and then they had a good race.
So who won?
Give me a second. Oh,
Vita
Suarez. Yeah, Suarez, the driver from Mexico, won, and I'm blanking on his first name.
Juan.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Mario. Raul.
Right. So he won, and then last week Larson won at Las Vegas. He kind of dominated the whole race.
How do we have a NASCAR driver from Mexico?
Because they're trying to get international. There's actually two.
What does NASCAR stand for?
North American Stock Car Racing. Oh man, now you got me screwed up. North American Stock Car Racing
Association.
But where's the R then?
Racing.
Association of Racing. I don't know. Yeah, I screwed it up. I don't know what it is.
Okay, hold on. Alexa, what does NASCAR stand for?
The National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC, is an American auto racing sanctioning and operating company that is best known for stock car racing.
Okay, so if it's North American Stock Car Racing, how does
it
the guy
isn't?
from
It's
Mexico?
National Association.
Oh, it's not North American.
Right. I screwed it up. Now I look. Thanks for making me look like an idiot, Dave.
You don't look like an idiot. I've seen a lot of idiots, and you look like none of those.
I saw one of the old Far Side cartoons today, and it's a picture. It's a courtroom picture, and the defendant's lawyers standing at the jury box and he's pointing to the defendant. And he's like, "Does that look like the face of a mass murderer?" And it's a picture of the smiley face.
I've seen that one.
That was good.
That guy's hilarious.
Yeah, Gary Larson, I think. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. My favorite one is the boneless chicken ranch. All that free range chicken and stuff, and all these blobs of chicken meat laying around. It cracks me.
Are you a wing eater, by the way? Do you like chicken wings?
I like the wing, yeah.
Do you go boneless or bone in?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Now apparently the boneless wing, there is no such thing. It's a nugget. It's a tender.
I agree, but apparently
I think you're supposed to ask the question, are you a drum or what's the one?
I forget now the name of it, what they call the other section. So anyhow, the whole thing's a wing.
Yeah, the wing extends, from the point where it joins the body to the very tip, that pointy part. I don't know,
I like the little drumette, the little look, that
I like
part
the
of
other one. I eat the drumette. I mean, I eat it all. I mean,
what do they call it? Duals or doubles
how
or
they
something?
call that?
Ask Alexa what the two parts of a chicken wing are.
Oh, that's a good idea. Alexa, what are the two parts that make up a chicken wing?
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. The two parts of a chicken wing are the drumstick, or mini drumstick, which is smaller than the leg drumstick, and the wing, which is probably everyone's favorite piece.
All right, she's
fire
on the
that
verge of
contributor.
She obviously didn't translate it correctly. So
Drum or shit.
Anyhow, we've gone on long enough. But boneless or bone in, you prefer the bone in.
I don't know.
Boneless is becoming highly popular these days.
Well, boneless is easier. You just pop it in your mouth and eat
it.
Yeah,
it kind of defeats the whole purpose of. I mean, the whole thing started as a bar food using the extra, what was left over.
Yeah, up in Buffalo, the
Right.
Blue Anchor. I've been there.
Right. Oh, you have?
Yeah, it's a little dive. Not much
Was it any good?
Yeah.
As a kid, my dad still eats it. Scrapple. They used to serve that at bars, remember?
I don't remember eating. I'm not.
Anything
Contrary to what you thought when you asked me about Groucho Marx, I'm like, come on, man, I'm not that old.
We had nickname is TV. Pops. Come on now.
Yeah, but so everyone's a Pops now. We got to do that.
Well, anything that was highly salty and would want you to drink more, they would give you for free at a bar. That's why pretzels are served and stuff, and peanuts and things of that nature.
Is that why they do that?
Yeah.
So they try to get you thirsty and then say
Yes.
you buy. Well, that's genius.
Yeah, it is.
Boy, those guys are onto something.
I know. They're going to be around a while. Don't get me wrong in that one.
Yeah, the wing thing kind of died for a while, and then it's found a resurgence.
We do it quite often here. We have a place in our little downtown area that has some pretty good wings, so we go there quite often.
I'll tell you, let's wrap this up with the story here. But there's a buddy of mine named Carl Seagren, and Carl he's from Michigan. He's up in Michigan now, but he owned a place called Harpoon Louis over on the west, what I call the near west side of Jacksonville. And Carl made wings. He called them Carl's Way. And so what you typically do is you deep fry them, right? And then you toss them in some Pete's red sauce, the pepper sauce, and you toss them around, and then you serve them with all that, drippy sauce. Well, what Carl would do, he would fry them, toss them in the red sauce, and then toss them on the grill. And if you haven't tried them this way, you can do it at home on your Weber or gas grill, whatever. It's messy, but you can do it.
Yeah.
And you dip them in the sauce like you're doing, but you throw them back on the grill and you get them till they're a little bit charred, just because that sauce has got sugar in it, I think. And you don't want them real black, but you get them a little charred spots. Delish. It'll change your life.
Really? How did it change your life?
Well,
I don't want to put you on the spot, but
it gave me a different outlook. That's for sure.
Did it? Is this why we yell at the McDonald's?
I didn't yell at her.
Yeah, you got pretty snappy
No,
with
I
her.
was stern. I said, make it the right way because I need the coffee.
It's important. You wouldn't have known the difference.
No, I am a connoisseur. Anyway, so you know what I'm going to do? I listened to myself the other day, and I don't know why I say here, but I never do it when I'm public speaking. Gonna make
I don't say but I feel it would like as it were, things like that. I'm trying to stop doing that as well.
Long story short,
Yes. Yes. I do that one a lot.
I'm gonna stop the because it's not appropriate.
Okay.
And I listened to myself and I was like, wow, Dave, what are you doing? And I never do it when I speak.
How do you know? You don't record yourself when you speak.
Oh no, I do. I'm a narcissist. Ask my wife.
I keep the phone on all day.
I've been complimented several times. You know, Dave, you never say That's amazing.
And they put that in your head.
No, I just know I don't. And I know now I'm saying it, which is making me upset. So we're gonna stop doing it. As of right this moment, season 5, episode 2, no more ums.
I'm gonna put a counter on the screen and check you. Hey,
Okay.
I got a new bit I want to try with you.
Please.
And now it's totally blanked. How say you?
How
Like-
say you?
Yeah, like
What say you?
no, how say
That's
you?
the term. What say you? You tell me a story.
So
then
it's
say,
my
what
bit,
say
and
you?
you're correcting me on the title.
Well, I do that a lot.
Okay.
I'm not saying anymore. I got to fill the space. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, like, I might say, so when you let someone in traffic, right, and they don't wave,
Mm.
they don't give, yeah. How say you on that? Are you okay with that, or do you take the front end of your car and
Do I take umbrance?
and start tapping the back of their bumper?
It depends on what I'm driving. If I'm driving the Ford F-150, right into the side of the car.
Is it okay?
I didn't say I see. I catch myself there. You know, I'm a different person now. I used to. I never got into like a lot of rage because now people shoot you. I don't know. I don't need a wave.
You don't
But
need a wave?
No, not anymore.
I either do I. But this. So
I'd
what
probably
happened?
say something.
What's that?
I probably say nice. Yeah, it's okay. Sure, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm here helping you out.
Well-
All you need is a wave. That'd be nice. But
On
no.
my flight back from Orlando, I have to guess the gentleman across the aisle for me in upper row might have been slightly autistic, and it was kind of funny. And I think it was his mom sitting next to him. He was like a 26-year-old gentleman or so, but like the stewardess walked by and she sneezed, and he just yells out, "God bless you," like that, real loud. That was
Did
the
he have
first time I'm like,
Tourette's?
well, no, I don't think Tourette's is. It was more like autism. He because he kind of had the rocking and stuff to him. And then
Asperger's. I like saying
yeah,
Asperger's.
and then I know, and then someone's phone did the ring and it's like the when a Motorola phone turns on, when you power it up, it has a certain ring,
Yeah.
and it did that, and he yells out, "Let's go, Moto!" Like it was hilarious. But
You're
so
throwing $1 bills at him. Going,
yeah, right. I'm like, but this is the part I love. So we land in Concord, and people are getting up to get off the plane, and so you know how the rows aren't always perfectly aligned one to one, right? So the row opposite him is maybe a half row behind his, and the lady steps out and that cuts him off, but he wasn't looking like he's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead. No one wants to get off the plane." Like that. I'm like, yes.
So he has no inhibition. He just says what's on his mind. Yeah, sure, lady.
Yeah, he's like, no one wants to get off the plane.
And how do you hit an autistic guy? I mean, you can't.
Right, exactly. I'm like, I got to get myself labeled as such at work, so I can just yell out things I want. Don't bother him. He's autistic.
He's on the spectrum. That's what the kids are saying in the class. That's cruel. I had to stop a kid today.
He's on the spectrum.
Yeah, I swear that's what they said. I think that kid's on the spectrum. I'm like, come on. I mean,
We used to say he rides a short bus. Remember?
that's exactly right.
But now
maybe
a lot of kids ride the short bus. So
Well,
not in that same vein. I mean, some buses are just short for certain neighborhoods.
that's exactly right. That's what we did, and we felt like we were entitled to saying, "Hey, you ride the short bus," and they're saying is you're on the spectrum.
Right. Same thing.
It is the
Same
same thing. That's very good. There's one of them right there.
You're not
That's
right.
very good. That's a very good. Okay, take two. What's the word I'm trying to say? Maybe that's the
Observation.
problem. Observation. That's what it is. I've got some sort of disconnect going on in my head.
Well, you're so focused on that word that you can't get it out of your head. So
Go ahead.
I'm going to keep going here
Yeah.
because I don't want to lose track. So the other day I'm driving home from work and there's an accident it's a 2-lane, 4-lane road, 2 lanes on one going one direction,
Sure.
one direction.
Gotcha.
And there's an accident in the 1 lane opposite of me. And so traffic's backed up and we're letting people in and blah, blah, blah. So we get up near the accident and I let the car in the right lane get in front of me. And then I just kind of kept pace with well, then the guy behind that car in a giant 4-wheel drive pickup truck with tires taller than my car decides he wants to come over in front of me as well. I'm like, no. So I just keep pace. And he's getting closer and closer to the accident. And there's a policeman there, so he can't screw around too much. And he's honking on the thing and he's yelling out the window at me. I'm like, hey, listen, I already let somebody in front of you. Why do I have to let 2 cars in? So I go and he has to hit the brake and I zip around him like that, in the lane. And he comes flying down in the, because now he's got the lane open next to me and he's got the fist out the window and he's hanging out the window, yelling and screaming and honking his horn at me. And so I do the huh? I can't hear you. And he's getting furious.
I thought you were going to reflect back to the airline guy and go, "Oh, he wants to get in."
Sure, no one wants to get home. Only you have to get home.
What about the guy? What about the guy that passes on the right shoulder?
Oh, like goes off the road to pass?
Yeah. So I used to drive to work when I was in the financial role on 295, Highway 295. And of course, Jacksonville, like any other major town, there's always construction going on. And so they were widening this road. And at one point, it was 2 lanes merging with another 2 lanes with another 2. It was crazy.
Right.
And so there was this bottleneck that was just there. But after a while, you could ease your way through it. But inadvertently, you'd be cruising down the road, and this jamoke would get in the far right. You're in the right lane, but he'd be in the shoulder lane. What do you call that?
Yeah.
The shoulder.
The shoulder.
And he would scoot down the shoulder, the emergency shoulder lane. Now, I've been in that situation where the cops have picked him up.
Yeah.
If you're fortunate that day, and you have this victorious moment, like, yeah, finally, a cop's here at the right time. But there's that guy that does that all the time, and I'm always like, what gives? What?
Because he gets home faster.
Well, my wife always like, you don't know, maybe they're having a baby. Maybe they need to get to the hospital. She's always got this, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that page. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't get too frustrated. And does it really hurt you that they're going? No, it's just I don't care. It's just inconsiderate for the other 400 people.
That's kind of how I feel. That's the only thing that gets me, I guess, angry is people that are inconsiderate of others, right?
Well, then you do that, and then there's the guy who's the vigilante. You ever seen that guy? So he'll see in the rearview mirror that this guy is holding the shoulder. So he starts to move over, like, I'm going to block this guy. And I'm like,
but what if he's having a baby?
Well, that guy may be the dumbest guy ever, because now he's taking it upon himself to get in that lane to basically block
and start a fist fight. Semis used to do that on the highway, right? They still do a little bit, where one will pull out when it's a big merge. They'll pull out and stay in line with the semi next to them, so
Yeah.
nobody gets by them. And
Brotherhood.
yeah, I saw for the first time. I was on the highway a couple weeks ago. I forget where I was going, and you know how it usually says, 1 lane, 2 miles ahead, merge right, merge right.
Yeah.
It gives you all. This sign just said merge at the sign when you get up there. Worry about merging. I thought it probably speeds things up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
drive that
let's go
much
with my
anymore.
theory on this, and I'm right again.
Okay.
All right.
Woody's right.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Let me check that off.
So we went to dinner. Actually, it was our anniversary on the 3rd.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yeah, thanks. No
What's
cards.
it been, 3 years now?
Yeah, a lot of years.
You don't even know, do you?
23.
Oh, all right.
So we didn't do any. I think it was, what day was that? Sunday? Hold on. It was Sunday. So we kind of laid low and just kind of hung out, which was fun. And so we decided to meet for dinner last night. I don't know. Last night, not for, I don't know. Anyway, so I was working late. She was working late. And I said, well, I'm down in this part of town. Let's go have something to eat. And so we went to this Mexican restaurant. And I remembered street corn. And so I'm on a quest for street corn. And so if you remember, I had the dip. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And so I bought dip at Winn-Dixie, which was, it was okay.
It was your hummus dip or something, wasn't
Well, it was kind of the hummus aisle, but it said street corn. I'm like, oh, I'll try that. So this time I got the waiter, Ben. He was an authentic
it?
Mexican restaurant. What's your
Mexican
name, Ben? I'm like, okay, Ben. So I said, street corn. What is
Sure,
it?
you didn't say
What?
bueno?
No, his name was Ben. He was
Okay.
clearly a Ben. There's another one. So I said, I'm interested in street corn. I know nothing about it. Walk me through it. I said, first of all, is it an appetizer or an entree or is it a dip? Then he says, you're going to let me walk you through it there, Mr. Theus, or are you going to tell me what to do? I said, well, I have an inclination to tell people what to do. So I said, lay it on me. What is it? So it's an appetizer. And it turns out this particular restaurant, it's a corn on the cob.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, do they char grill it or how do they cook it? He goes, no, it's boiled, which I had in my mind. They stuck it on a grill and it was, maybe this is the next one.
I thought it was after, but go ahead.
But it was boiled, yeah. And then they take mayonnaise and what's that cheese stuff, the white stuff?
Mozzarella.
Oh, the stuff you get at Mexican places. You get avocado,
Queso.
salsa. Queso. They get queso and then some funky seasoning and then a bunch of cilantro. And they stick a stick in the end of it and put it in a wax thing and send it out on a little plastic bowl. It was very tasty. And the corn just fell out of the cob. You know, if you had dentures or something like that, you wouldn't be worried about it. So I posted it on my little Clay Eats thing, and people were like, "Oh, that's the best! It's not just, the mariachis is the ball. It's awesome." So $4.40 for 1 ear of corn, though. But you know, it is inflationary times. So I'm kind of a fan. So there's one. You know what we could do? This could be like Barstool and pizza.
Yeah. How's that?
Instead of the pizza slice that guy did with Barstool, where they go out and talk to restaurants about one slice of pizza, I do the street corn.
There you go.
I mean, clearly, look at me. I am the Mexican street corn aficionado. Soon
You
to
know
be.
how they get that? You know how they get that tangy taste to it? They let the mayo sit out for a day or two. No, but as far as the grilling goes, I thought after they put the mayo and queso on it, they put it on a grill. Maybe some places do, some places don't.
See,
I don't
I'm
know.
envisioning all kinds of stuff. I want to ask Alexa.
I will say the picture you posted made the corn look like it had come from the street, not that it was street corn. It looked like it had been run over a few times.
Yeah, it had a big crack down the middle of it too. I think that's when they shoved a piece of wood in there.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't know. Hang on a second. Alexa, what is Mexican street corn?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, in Spanish, corn is called maíz. Mexican corn is a street food called elote, corn on the cob flavored with a spicy mixture of mayonnaise, crema, and chili powder and then sprinkled with cheese.
She didn't say. She didn't say
Why'd she
creamy
get
and
into all
tangy.
those other? Why'd she have to get into the how to say it in Spanish?
Well, I should go back and get that because the next time I'll go to the restaurant, go, look at me like
El
when I was in
Casa.
when I lived in Colorado and I was playing football at this whole high school. The head coach introduced me in Pueblo, where I was in school, was a large Mexican American population. Well, who knows if they were American,
It
but
wouldn't
Mexican
be
population.
Indian American, American Indian.
No, these were
excuse me?
Mexicans,
All right.
and they
Way
said my
below
last
levels.
name, and they thought they said my name was Diaz. And so I went to the bathroom, and about 8 of them cornered me in the bathroom, and they went, Diaz, what's up, Diaz? I'm like, no, man, you got to take another look. This isn't Diaz.
They waited
they-
till you went to the bathroom to corner you.
Yeah,
though?
then they pulled brass knuckles out and knives, and I was like,
and pillowcases full of soap.
this isn't going to go down well. All of you little guys are going to lose. Yeah, they were all like little people. It was
Oh.
kind of funny. And I was like, that's not how we roll in Florida.
Hey, you didn't happen to keep track of when we started, did you?
I kind of did 7:35.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
I kind of guessed it's 7:35, 7:40. You think
Wow.
longer than that?
Yeah, I feel like we're going quite a while.
Well, we seem to nail it every time we do this. We run out of stuff. It runs down to the last of it, and it's like, well, we're done.
Can I get you to expound on? I hate to bring up our weekend in Orlando, but
That's okay.
there's a story I heard about that you need to expound on.
It's just the Undertaker.
No, the helmet head.
Oh,
No?
no, I don't care.
All right.
Was it Mark that brought it up?
Yeah, of course.
So,
I just put it in my notes. Remember, I was like, I got to write this down. I didn't know why I wrote it down.
I don't know if it's a joke. It took me a lot of counseling to kind of get over it, but thanks for bringing it back up.
Yeah, no problem.
So when I was a young
Well, you could
person-
use your what's that talk?
yeah, sign up, make some money for myself. No, I got a big head. This
Yes,
one,
do I?
this one right here, a size 8 helmet.
Wow, that is big. I'm 7.5.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah.
So when I played high school football, we couldn't find a helmet to fit me. So the first 2 seasons, I never wore a helmet. And then all the
Ref's
blood,
like, you need a helmet. And he's like, I am. This is a helmet.
this is a helmet. If it gets any bigger than that, I can't get a jersey over it. No, the first 2 games I didn't wear a helmet. It was really messy. No.
You're not. No. Okay.
So what happened was I had a helmet when I was a sophomore that fit me perfectly. And I don't know, I was playing nose guard at the time, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a senior and he was a fullback, and I went to tackle him and we hit head to head before concussions were cool. I think I had one.
A thing,
and
even.
he split it in half. But I mean, I was like, okay, well, that was fun. And so we didn't have another helmet. And so they went to measure me and realized it was a size 8, and they called the Rydell at the time. They called Rydell and they said, okay, quit joking around, guys. There's nobody
No one in the
got a size
NFL
8
has
helmet.
that size head.
What, do you got an elephant down there? So they said, no, he's Dave Theus, and he's standing right here next to us. So they had to order. My team colors were orange helmets.
Okay. Like the
And-
Browns. Were you the Browns?
No, the Braves, Boone Braves. Kind of
Okay.
like Florida. We were Florida Gators colors, which I hated.
Oh, yeah.
But so when it finally came in, I guess they got it from somewhere other part of the country because I didn't miss any practice. I missed maybe one day of practice. But when it came in, it was brand new. Remember when you were a kid? I don't know if you played football or not, but you kind of prided yourself on the scratches and the
Yeah.
bruises on your helmet. And it was kind of scuffed, and you always wanted a new helmet, but you didn't want to have the one new helmet amongst all the other
players. Yeah.
And so when I stood up on the line at left tackle, it was kind of obvious. This guy's got a melon on his shoulders. So I don't know. I mean, it didn't.
Why
really
did Mark
bother.
know this story?
I think I must have told him. He and I didn't play football. He went to a different high school at Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
He might have heard about the legend.
The legend of Dave.
He might
Yes.
have heard the legend of the helmet head.
What was the name of your school again?
Helmet head. No, Boone. Boone
Boone.
Braves.
They're like, hey, the Boone games this weekend. Maybe the helmet guy will be in it.
I can hope so. Let's get seats down front. No, you won't need them. You'll see them.
You'll see him from high above.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really bother me. I didn't like the idea I had to sit out. I don't think I missed maybe one practice. My coach did laugh at me for a lot, and I didn't feel good about that.
About your big head. Did he call you big head or anything? Because that's back when coaches could make fun of you for whatever stood out.
He didn't. He did. He was a good guy. I love that guy. No, no, I never got.
I always told him I'd never tell anybody.
I never
about
got
what
any
happened.
guff about it when I was playing. I just knew I had a huge head.
All right. Interesting.
But Mark seemed to think it was funny. It
yeah,
is
well, I had a good laugh at your
no,
expense.
it is. I don't have a problem with it. It's
All right.
it is what it is.
Yeah. You know what they
Okay.
say? Big head, small hands.
Well, you got to compensate some way, right? I don't know. It's helped me when I swim though, because it's buoyant.
You see a head floating down.
You ever seen those big white whales that get that big front
beluga.
nog?
The beluga.
The beluga. I'm a beluga. That's what I am. That's
Belugas are very intelligent and friendly, Dave.
they're fun too. They're fun to be
Yeah.
around. I guess I'm a beluga.
My daughter did she liked beluga whales, and we took her to the zoo, and she got to meet, go backstage and like meet the belugas and stuff.
Was he
So we-
walking around or something?
Yeah. He's a big furry guy. No, they had belugas at the zoo and the aquarium, and so they went
Oh.
backstage, and she could feed them, and she got a picture like hugging one and all that kind of stuff.
They're cuddly creatures. They're soft and they're weird. I mean,
Yeah. But they're very playful.
they're-
I've learned these things because that was my daughter's, favorite aquatic animal at the time when she thought she was going to be in marine biology. So,
Well, I got two things left.
all right. Well, this
I
will be
don't
our
know.
last show then, everyone.
Yeah,
We should be able to wrap these two up tonight.
our last show ever
Well, you said you got two things left.
tonight.
Oh, right. Go ahead.
So I'm not jealous. I'm proud. First of all, I don't want to give too many details in case she listens, and I don't want to upset anybody off. But my daughter's attending school. She's at Geneva, in fact,
Yeah.
and she's a senior
That's
graduate.
quite a ways off.
Yeah, graduating this year, and she's on spring break.
Oh,
And so, like I said, I want to get into too many details, but she, every generation seems to experience more than the previous generation. Like we did more than our parents did more than their, you get the idea.
yeah.
Well, she is spring breaking this week in Martha's Vineyard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is
And
Martha still there?
I didn't ask, but she sent us a few pictures, and her family, it's a girlfriend, I think that family lives over there,
Okay.
and very gracious and very obviously hospitable,
They'll send you the
and-
bill later.
and welcome Sarah into their home, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And Sarah's blessed. She has enough of my genes as far as she knows no stranger, and she has the ability to cross generational lines. She can talk with her peers, kids that are younger than she is, and adults, and even senior citizens. And she's so masterful at it, and people just want to be around her. So I'm super proud of her. So that's that part. And I think she's just really having a good time, and she's not caught up in the whole, the hootie tootie of it all, but it's beautiful.
Where is Martha's Vineyard?
So it's out there in the Atlantic, just off the coast of Providence. It's out by Brad, kind of Massachusetts.
Is it? That's what I was
it's
trying. I
New
was
York.
debating if it was Virginia or Massachusetts. Massive two shits. Or
It's actually Long Island's to the north of it, or I looked it up the other day, but
oh, okay. But it's
Nantucket's,
very hoity-toity, right? Or
I mean, there's wealthy people that live there.
Yeah, okay.
It's only 25 miles long, maybe.
and who it was it named after Martha Washington, or am I just making that leap?
I don't know. Let's find out. Alexa, why is Martha's Vineyard called Martha's Vineyard?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, it was named Martha's Vineyard by the English explorer Bartholomew Gosnold, who had sailed to the island in 1602. The island's namesake is not definitively known, but it is believed that the island was named after Gosnold's mother-in-law or his daughter, who were both named Martha.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
wouldn't have named it after my mother-in-law. Now, definitely my daughter, if her daughter's name was Martha, sure. But her mother-in-law? No.
Maybe she owned the boat, or she financed the boat.
So that was long before the
Yeah, 16.
Washingtons.
1600s.
You know, the place where I'm in Tennessee is named after Martha Washington, though.
What's it called?
Dandridge.
Is that her maiden name?
Yes, and apparently she was never there. Just they elected to name it after her. Second oldest city in Tennessee.
Alexa, what is Martha Washington's maiden name?
Martha Washington's maiden name is Dandridge.
Why do you doubt me at this point? Why do you
no, I'm giving you props here. Vita Blue and Martha Dandridge, Washington. Her name was
what?
That thing where you do, and her name was.
Oh, yes. And that young lady was Martha Dandridge Washington.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, 2 for 2. So anyway, so that's where Sarah is, and she's having a joyous time. And I'm like I said, I'm just super proud of her that she's.
Can you drive to Martha's?
No,
Vineyard?
she had to fly. So they fly. I don't know
they
where
fly.
to. Yeah, they have to take a puddle jumper.
Okay.
And she sent me a picture of her in the back of the plane.
Oh, those things.
They got to weigh it. They got to weigh it out. So she's straddling the beam or something. I don't know.
Right.
And then
I had to do that on my flight to Orlando. It was light enough that it was kind of funny when I was talking about how the customer service is better and everything. This was Frontier, and they started moving us in the plane. I said, "Oh, do they need to balance the plane?" And she said, "Yeah, too many of you cheap SOBs are on the plane because they put us all in the back 10 rows."
Frontier,
if you're not,
was it a jet or a prop?
It was a jet. It was a full A320 jet airplane, but everybody would, because if you don't pay extra for a seat, you're relegated to the back of the plane, and so the whole back of the plane was full of people.
She didn't say cheap SOBs, did she?
She said, "All you cheap people are in the back of the plane." I said, "You got that right. You know me better than most people."
So you said something in the podcast. I listened to it, and you said the airline industry is in trouble. But then you started saying how great the customer service was.
I said the big airlines are in trouble.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, because it was it was almost 4 times as much for me to fly on American to Orlando and back than it was on these two inexpensive airlines, budget airlines, if you will. And I thought their customer service and everything about them was on par, if not better, than the big airlines. So why am I spending all this money?
I started after I told you how much I spent on the rent-a-car. I was thinking, man, if I'd have drove to Charlotte and then caught the plane, I could have saved money.
Yeah.
Like that time when we drive to Atlanta to save money to get the flight out of Atlanta, which we don't do, by the way. I hope you know that.
We took a rent-a-car in we got a rent-a-car in college, and you weren't supposed to leave the state of Florida, so we took it back and forth to Washington, D.C. for the weekend. And Sam, who's still missing, returned the car, and the guy looks at the odometer. He's like, "Damn!" Because it was like 3 days. So
it's a long state.
We were trying to come up with all these reasons how we could have driven, 1,500 miles in the state of Florida.
Pensacola to the Keys is probably a long ways.
I don't know, but it was funny.
So I got one other thing.
Sure enough,
it's kind of serious, but it's not. I don't know. It's a rite of passage. So I had a Saturday. I serve as a chairman of a board now. And it's interesting, that work. I don't want to dwell on that too much, but I'm not paid for it, which is fine.
Well, it's a nonprofit.
It's a non-for-profit, and I had no intention of getting paid. The point is, I've served on boards before, but never as chair. And so there's a couple things going on. I am also as Woody says, a president of my cult, but I'm a president or a chairperson of another group that is a political in nature, a local club, let's say. And so I haven't been in that capacity before because I've been self-employed and busy about my work. And so I'm realizing at 60 now, my life is somewhat changing to these other roles. And where I was always looking out for Dave and trying to do things for me to advance my cause, now I'm in a position where I'm working for other people to advance their cause. And it's okay. I mean, this is what I would love to do. It's a slightly different change. But I went to, I want to be careful how I say this because the guy probably listens to us. But I enjoy cigars, and I was over at the place. I've been a long time customer since 1980s, probably.
Not a sponsor, but we'll gladly
Not
take them.
sure. And he had an event, and there was just gobs of people there. And very congratulations for the success of the event, and he's prosperous and things are going. But what I found was I went first of all because I wanted to support his business and I wanted a cigar, but there was just too many people there. And so when I have a cigar, I enjoy being by myself, first of all, because it's time for me to think. I actually do a lot of kind of planning in my head and stuff. But what it taught me was I'm at a spot now in my life where I don't have to be around so many people. There was something inside me. I enjoy people. I'm a public person, and I enjoy being around people and having fun and entertaining, that sort of stuff. But I don't know. It was, you know what it was? It was, I was coming down off the weekend with Sigma Chi.
Yeah,
I
that
I
was a lot of
had,
people.
well, that wasn't the problem. I wasn't somewhere between melancholy. I don't want to use the word melancholy because I wasn't like negative about it, but there were some unsettled emotions that I realized coming off the Sigma Chi weekend that,
It was a lot of pressure. You had a lot of work. So
well, but what I'm trying to put it into words. I really enjoyed the weekend and I enjoyed seeing everybody. And I don't want to get back into this, but I think I needed the whole week to kind of process this, what I'm trying to say. And what this epiphany that I've realized is I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste time doing things just because.
and this is our last podcast.
So goodbye, everybody. No, I want to spend time with people I want to be with.
Right.
I want to spend quality time, and it doesn't have to be a giant crowd. Maybe it can be a handful of people. And the Sigma Chi thing, I loved every minute of it. And what it taught me was there were a lot of people I wish that we could spend more time with,
Yes,
you know?
I agree with you.
And I miss them. And there's a part of that of my life we'll never be able to go back to because it just wasn't. But I did have a crazy idea that I wanted to throw out to you. Maybe, we do this Zoom thing. What if, since we all live in different parts of the world, what if we agreed to meet once a month via Zoom? And let that be the launching pad where people could come in on a Saturday night or something, whatever. And then if they want to meet up on their own with someone else or reconnect with someone else, they do that.
You know, someone should create an app like where you you pick your friends, right?
Not your nose.
Yes, and not your friend's nose.
Yeah. Well,
And then like you share stuff between this group of friends, and they are like, "Hey, you're going to be over there, so am I. Let's meet up." I think that'd be a great app.
meet up.
It's called Facebook, Dave. Come
No,
on.
it's called we're gonna put pictures on the line. On what was that movie? The Interns. And the guy goes, "It's Instagram." No, you're getting it all wrong. We're gonna take pictures and we're gonna put them up on the line right away. He goes, "It's Instagram. Shut up." Yeah. So
So that's you. That was your epiphany. Is that
the epiphany was, I'm not sick. I don't have cancer. I'm not limited in time that I know of. God forbid. But I cherish I don't want to waste my time. and I don't want to be rude to somebody,
Right.
but I want to be selective in how I use my time, because quite frankly, there's only 24 hours in a day, and I feel like the stuff I'm doing now is so impactful. It deserves more of my time. The chairmanship that I'm doing, I can't blow it off.
Right.
There are things I used to do. It's kind of like when you studied in school, you didn't do all the study and you really should have, but you could make it, because you just
Yeah.
showed up. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to give it
You
all.
don't want to mail it in.
Yeah, I want to give whatever I'm working on my 110%. And so I don't need this superfluous stuff on the outside. It takes away from that. I can still have a cigar. I'm not going to stop smoking cigars. I'm just going to choose. I could sit in my front porch and have a cigar instead of driving. But I want to be careful because I love Tom, the guy that owns the place, and maybe
Right.
I only go see him to be one-on-one. Like spring break. Maybe I go over there and spend a couple hours with him one-on-one versus this whole big charade I did over the
Or
weekend.
maybe this was his move to get you to stop hanging around.
Well, they don't like me over there.
Yeah, they want your revenue. They just don't want you hanging
Well,
around
everyone kept
talking.
saying it. Theus, when are you leaving?
Exactly.
I thought it was a joke, but apparently there was something to it. I don't know.
Here's- now you mention it.
Yeah, a lot of people did say it's about time for you to go, didn't it?
Hey,
I don't know.
No, that's interesting. And I'm not a crowd person to begin with. I have a hard time hearing in a crowd to begin with, so it's difficult for me to communicate in those
What?
settings.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
What's too
funny.
late? You're
Well,
supposed to-
listen, we don't know exactly when we started, but it is neighborhood dog counting night here in the Woody household. So
Wait, hold on. I'm not gonna accuse you of something here, but you said neighborhood dog counting in
Yeah.
the Woody household. Do you
Well,
have
I mean,
like a menagerie at your house?
no, the Woody household is going out into the neighborhood to do a dog audit, say how many dogs are in the neighborhood.
Are you looking for non-leashed or outside the gate?
No, it's strictly a dog count, Dave. We don't judge.
Do you do something to get them to bark so you can bring them out of the count, or what do you do?
Well,
You
we
have a
throw
whistle?
some. Yeah, we do a dog whistle, and
Milk bones?
yeah, and we'll throw milk bones in the backyard. See if any dogs make noise over that. And we'll vet them out, Dave. Don't get me wrong. We take this seriously. You're laughing.
This could be the worst one
Damn
ever.
Damn it, Dave. Someone's got to count the
Well,
dogs.
Look at my face. I can't hold it back.
But one thing I want to point out, though, now if we're done with that,
Please.
you missed the word of the week. I
Oh,
slipped it
crap.
by you.
Did you really?
Yes.
Can you give me the context of what we were talking about without
your
giving
stock? You were wrapping up your stock speech, and I think you were so so floating on a high with your whole look at me,
braggadocious,
how much-
wasn't I?
yeah, how much money I made that you didn't notice I slipped in. Thank you for elucidating on your investment strategy.
Wow. Elucidating?
Yes, or elucidate is a verb. So I'll put it back up on the screen again for
Is
you.
that kind of like illuminating?
No. Well, yeah, I guess
Is
so.
it
Yeah.
expanding or
Make clear. Yeah.
is
Explain.
it I or A it starts with?
E.
Oh, even better. Can I
Yeah.
ask our friend?
Sure.
Alexa, define elucidate.
The verb elucidate is usually defined as to make lucid or clear, throw light upon, explain. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for elucidate.
No.
No, I don't want to. Woody is 3 for 3.
Well, I had that one written down, to be honest with you. It's right
Yeah,
here.
but if you were a major league baseball player, you'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Really? For 3 for 3.
At least for this
me,
game.
me and Vita Blue. Would
See,
be
you
in the
went
Hall of
back. You
Fame.
got it.
Yeah, the callback.
Do you
No,
know
I
what
was-
else? Do you know
I
where
was
Vita
reading
Blue's
a-
from?
What's that?
You know where Vita Blue's from?
No.
Or as the people in the
Dominican
Alexa
Republic?
world are Vita. Alexa, where is Vita Blue from?
From RetroGameBuyer.com. The white, black, light blue, lime green, pink, and khaki-colored Vita consoles launched in Japan, while North America and Europe only got black and light blue.
Okay, Alexa, the American baseball player Vita Blue, where does he come from?
From FreshersLive.com. Vita Blue is an American former professional baseball player who was born in Mansfield, Louisiana.
Holy crap.
What the
I thought he was like Central
Cuban
American.
or Hispaniola or something like that? No, I was reading a paper today on some new optical stuff coming out. And the guy's like, before we get into this, let me elucidate on, and I'm looking at the word. I was reading it, not, it wasn't a video or anything. And I'm like, lucid, what the? And I'm like, is that like a technical term? So I looked it up and that's what I'm like, come on, why do you have to put that word in? Elucidate.
To show how big his lexicon is.
I guess it was dumb. Know your audience, Dave. That's what I say.
Well, I say stuff, and we'll wrap this up in a second. I say stuff all the time in school, and not to be show off, but it's just part of the way I speak. And what I've realized is they don't know what I'm talking about. They don't know what I'm saying. So now what I do is I'll say a word, and then I say another word, a synonym for it, a step down, and then I look at the room. They don't know what I've said. I say another synonym on the step down, another synonym, and then finally I'm like, does anybody know what I'm talking about? And then if they don't, I have to break it down even again. So sometimes it's 4 different synonyms for the word, and then
Break
I
out
run out.
elucidate tomorrow, and
Yeah, I'm gonna do some not hallucidate.
maybe overmorrow. Wait till overmorrow.
I think that's a good. You know what? I'm off tomorrow,
Are
but
you?
I'm back at teacher planning overmorrow.
Why do you get to take a day off tomorrow?
Well, we should have talked about that, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm the group that I'm working with as the chair. They have hired. Well, they don't hire anybody. I don't know what it is. Remember Rollins College in Orlando?
Oh yeah, I got a funny story about that, but we'll save it for
We'll
another
save
day.
that. So this one is. I'm going to a seminar tomorrow called Best Practices for High Performing Boards. And it's instructor Alice Lee Stansbury. And she is the founder and president of Stansbury Consulting. Give her a little plug here. And she, expert 30-year fundraising veteran, seasoned advisor in non-for-profit leadership planning, nationally certified as a master trainer by the Association of Fundraising and Fit Professionals. Sought after speaker. People apparently are chasing her down the street for engaging interactive teaching style. She has maintained a certified fundraising executive. That's a thing you can get. CFRE, certified fundraising executive credentials since 2002. And she is an instructor for the Edith Bush Institute since 2008. And I believe Edith Bush Institute is part of
She
Rollins
was on
College.
All in the Family, right?
Edith Bush, yeah. That's her maiden name. It became Bunker.
There you go.
Yeah, the Crummer Rollins Edith Bush Institute for for philanthropy and nonprofit leadership. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow.
All right.
I'm actually kind of excited from 9 to 12. So I will get a certificate of completion.
Don't you love those? I used to
Probably
collect
update my
those.
LinkedIn. Put
I
it right
used
on
to-
my LinkedIn.
Oh, there you go. I used to collect those in like a binder on my desk. Just people come by, the stupidest ones you got, like, leadership skills one. I'm like, look at it right here.
Step off, buddy. I'm
Yeah.
certified.
I got a leadership skills.
Well, Woody, just so you know, I'm a lifetime learner.
Are
Well,
you?
Yeah, I'm a
Good.
lifelong learner.
I'm not. I gave up long ago.
All right. Well, you're counting dogs.
Yeah, I need to get on. It's kind of chilly out tonight too. So
I was thinking about having a cigar, but I don't think that's going to be possible. I don't have to get an early start tomorrow, so I could do it. 8:30. All right. Well, I got to listen
go
to
outside
this.
and kill yourself a little faster.
We're all dying slowly. I'm just
You're
moving
just
a little
speeding.
quicker.
You're just moving it along a little quicker.
I'm twice your size, though.
Oh,
All right.
well, that makes sense.
I'm going to listen. Yeah. All right. We're going to go. So, hi, I'm Dave.
I'm Woody.
And I think this episode was a pretty good episode of We Can Help. We Can Help with Dave and Woody.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Hit that button over there because we're getting tired of placating to you.
Yeah, I know. No kidding.
All right. Well, till next week. Guard well. Okay, bye.